Only one win separates the teams that are going to try and play for the playoffs, but also right there at the auto-relegation zone. Cloud9, this is a must-win game for them, but they've got a Susquehanna Soniqs team that has been on fire in their debut season. And speaking of debuts, Johnny, how you doing, man?
It's good to be here, Shogun. Honestly, it's a dream come true for any Rocket League caster to be casting RLCS alongside yourself. But what a match to get started off on the day with the Soniqs. I'm going to let you pronounce the first name. I think you did it better than I would. Yeah, Soniqs versus Cloud9 here.
Yes, my ability to pronounce names precedes me throughout this entire thing, and I definitely never make any mistakes on that one. But I want to come up to you very quickly. The desk did highlight Dapper in this one. Now, you've had an opportunity to follow Dapper throughout the majority of his career. You were there very early on when he was making his name as a ones player. How have you seen him adapt in these last few years?
I'm most impressed with Dapper's ability to just stick around, because a lot of people were counting him out. A lot of people thought he was done when he got relegated, and he didn't immediately bounce back into RLCS. But here he is with a pretty new team after all these seasons missing. And, you know, I couldn't be happier for the guy, and best of luck to them in this matchup. Same to Cloud9.
Absolutely. So we get into this. Soniqs have already secured their playoff spot. A position that nobody expected them to get into. They were predicted to be 10th on the team power rankings, which the players themselves voted in. Now they already find themselves securing a top 6. They're trying to stop Cloud9 from getting any further as well, as they're going to start off on offense. So we're very interested to see as well. Soniqs have been a team that have allowed an awful lot of play to happen from their opposing team. We'll see if Cloud9 in this series can take advantage of that.
It's really important, I think, for Cloud9 to get a good start here. Obviously, Soniqs, like you said, they've got the playoff spot locked in. Anything else from here is a bonus. But that's not to say they're not going to want to climb even higher in the standings. It's a big difference to get top 4. So they're going to be wanting to get the win today, get even closer to the top of the standings.
A shot for Torment to try and save. He will do exactly that. And keep an eye out for how these teams are going to try and transition as this series goes along, because Soniqs doing a great job holding on to this, but can they set up a good opportunity for themselves? Shock wants the block. 2 players committed. Cloud9 stuck over here for a while. They sent 2 players again, but they've got rid of the danger for the time being. A pass over the Shock, which he was not able to get to. Too busy trying to pick up boost, which I'm sure he needed. So neither team so far really able to create much for themselves. They ease into this.
It's really patient play by the Soniqs. They're just waiting for Cloud9 to give them the ball over and over again at the halfway line. They're aware that Cloud9 are double committing. You know, it's been said that double commit, double the chance for success. It's not the best advice perhaps, but it's better than sending nobody at the ball. And Cloud9 are going to just keep committing and hope that they can get the ball cleared. This is much better for them now. And a chance for Squishy at the other end of the field. Doesn't look like he landed the reset.
He will be the one to really watch out for this series. For all of the problems that Cloud9 have had, Squishy has been a redeeming light for them for the majority of the season. Many people saying that as long as Torment and Gimmick can step up around him, they can be a real force yet again. Now Cloud9 seeing a little bit more of the offense than they did in the opening minute. Shock, though, does clear. Back to the far corner. Squishy will just take control, and he's so difficult to get rid of that ball. Almost 2 players out, but Dapper bulleting straight through it. Continues to go on, and Gimmick has potentially opened up a shot. Here comes Safu. Just rolls it to the corner. We're still waiting for our first opportunity. Here it comes for Squishy. There on time.
Yeah, great save there by Squishy. He really needed to get back quickly for that one. And look at the Soniqs, so patient. They just keep coming at Cloud9 from different angles. Cloud9 struggling to get the ball clear for most of game 1.
This has been more offense from Soniqs than we've seen from them all season. A double commit, though, means Squishy tries to lay it off, but nobody there, and Safu powers the ball to the other side of the field.
It's a good read by Safu. He saw the pass in field. He knew it was a threat. Hold on, is that on target? Just wide. Cloud9 are starting to look more and more threatening, Shogun, as we get into the business end of the game. They really do need to stay with the Soniqs here. That's rolling on target. That's 1-0, and it's Dapper who opens the scoring.
We've been waiting for our first opportunity. I didn't quite expect it to happen like this. Torment, last man, has to win that challenge. It was an aggressive one to go for. And it simply goes right in the middle. And that's going to be 1-0 up for Soniqs. Cloud9, this is an important series for them. Almost must win. You got to remember, later on today, we've got wait a second, it's Dapper forced to take that one away. But later on today, we've got E United versus Pittsburgh Knights. If Cloud9 lose this, then one of those two teams are guaranteed to win. They'll put them out of playoff spots.
That's just brutal. You know the Cloud9 fans, they just want there to be a chance for Cloud9. They saved their season last week. They don't want to put it back in the gutter this week. Got a minute and 23 in game one. Honestly though, Soniqs have looked so solid. They have had very few chinks in their armor.
Here's going to be a shot just off to the side. Squishy taking his time, but there's not much time left. Just over 1 minute now for a Cloud9 team that have yet to put anything together. Soniqs just still probing at the defensive side. And it's been impressive how just meticulous they've been at setting up these plays. There is no rush to any of this. They know they've had the opportunity, they know they've had the time.
Shogun. This is really good play in the back half by Cloud9. They've realized that there's no point clearing the ball to the mid line because that's exactly where all the Soniqs are stationed. But we are not seeing much success yet from Cloud9 in the 50-50 game. Every single one of them is going high over their goal, even though they're trying to force it through.
Dapper is a great player to have in these sort of situations. So good at killing off the time, so good at controlling the ball and forcing players from Cloud9 to come towards him. Squishy, flick over the top. Gimmick tries to chase down. 2 players committed. Dapper has to get back, but Sapview still able to control it. Here's that time killing yet again. 14 seconds now on the clock. It's just going to be up to Cloud9 to try and put something together.
It's going to be tough to get the ball past Soniqs, who are all back. They're all in defense. Not a lot of boost between them, but they just need to get the ball into the ground to win game one. And it's not looking good for Cloud9. That's game one to the Soniqs. And their season just keeps on getting better.
And who would have expected this? 2 shots from Cloud9. And this was the big worry. A lot of people asking, are Cloud9 back or was last week just a fluke? Well, this is the game to do it against a team that really many people are expecting should never have even been in this spot. But Soniqs continuing to prove themselves. But for you, Johnny, you look at this team, look at Cloud9. Where are these issues coming from? Why were they not able to get anything going in game one?
Well, I think the gameplay change that Cloud9 tried to make, it was a smart choice. They tried to dribble the ball out of defense because the clear balls just weren't working. They've struggled with their passing as well, though, and I think that's maybe the thing that they have to look to if they're going to get back into this series, Shogun. They need to start passing at both ends of the field, not just once they're into attack.
It seemed like there was like 2 passing opportunities that come to mind for me. One of them, Gimmick was off trying to steal boost in the far corner. It was from Squishy to Gimmick. There was no way that was happening. The other one, it was passed straight into traffic. You know, they got the double commit out of it. They didn't get a shot out of it either. So maybe also picking the opportunities a little bit better as well. It just seems like Cloud9 are trying to force a play at the very beginning rather than adapting to the play that's around them, which is, it feels like a weird criticism to levy at Cloud9 because that was what they used to be best at back when they won a world championship.
Yeah, they used to be able to pick up games here and there with opponents panicking because Cloud9 were just such a scary name in Rocket League. But now, with so many losses on their record, I don't think that they have that fear instilled in their opponents anymore. And credit to the rookies, well, not all rookies, of course, the Dapper, Sappy here, but the rookie team in this season, freshly qualified, they just look so composed and they look so organized. And even though they're sitting on a 1-goal lead, it never really looked like that was going to go anywhere.
Here we are in game number 2. Cloud9 still searching for their first goal, and they might just give one up. A whiff off the backboard leaves it wide open for Dapper.
It's great power by Dapper on the clear, but you'd put your money on Squishy clearing this ball. That is just not good enough. And Torment didn't have the time to react on the goal line. Cloud9 are really struggling now. First game, you can say well played to Soniqs, but that on the back wall from Squishy, you'd expect him to clear that 9 times out of 10, maybe even more often than that.
That's already going to be a tough position for Cloud9 to work in, especially with how comfortable Soniqs have been defensively all season long. Dapper and Shock both covering the right-hand side. Another miss on the wall opens up Shock a chance to move forward. But don't expect Soniqs to move forward too much here. Not a team that tends to win by 2 goals. They're very happy to just sit on the 1, although they're going to pick up the second anyway, as Dapper's got himself a brace.
And once again, Cloud9, they're just struggling with the ball in defense. That was just pressure by Sapview. He's right up there in Torment's space. He's making it look like he wants a 50-50, But he doesn't really. He's just trying to make Torment panic in the back corner, and that's exactly what happened. He ended up passing the ball to Dapper, and that's almost 3-0. The post keeps Cloud9 in the game. They need to start looking for each other in defense, Shogun, or this is going to be over before you know it.
Yeah, these touches just not been good enough so far. Shot to the corner. I mean, the Gimmick tries to take control of this, but it's another good challenge. Torment straight to the middle, but once again, Dapper's positioning, doing so well. Safiu's bullying Squishy over in the net. It has been a rough game 2 for Cloud9. But if you look over for Soniqs, you know, this is a team, they've got to be so happy with how this has gone so far.
This is why we were worried about Cloud9 going into this series, Shogun. You know, they had a great win last week, but in order to keep that momentum going, I really feel like they needed a good start today. Now we get to see if they still have what it takes to get a comeback win. We've seen them do it so many times in the past, but recently it's not been happening. And now is when it really matters for Cloud9. With their playoff life on the line, are they going to step up?
It's going to be Safiu over up the wall. It's a good boost steal over in the middle as well. It means Cloud9 need to get this out now, otherwise they run the risk of being completely boost starved. Gimmick. He's got Squishy as an option. Tries to find him. Just couldn't get the option. Here's Torment. For the double tap? No! Shock takes it away. Although it looked from the shot that Torment might just be a little bit too far under it. Still, much more positive gameplay from Cloud9. They need to start working from here.
Just looks like Cloud9 are playing to not lose at the moment, but they are losing. You can't play with that fear. You can't play with everybody sitting back behind the ball against a team like Soniqs, who are just too solid. Now, this is an opportunity. Dapper, or Shock rather, so composed at the near post. He gets to 50-50. The Soniqs are away already.
There's going to be the infield. Shock has just taken off the hood of him. And Torment clears, but you know, you see exactly Safiu's positioning. He can just run straight onto this ball, buys plenty of time for the rest of Soniqs to get back. And there we go, back over to the far side of the blue field. No goals scored in 8 minutes now for Cloud9. They got to get something. We cannot emphasize this enough. Will it be this time, though? Shock parries that one away.
Yeah, the sooner the better for Cloud9. That's one of the best chances they've had all game. They're getting a consistent period of pressure onto the Soniqs at the moment. Will they be able to turn it into a goal? Shot by Gimmicks, saved by Safiu. It looks like everything that goes towards the Soniqs goal is answered. There's always one man spare. Well played to the Soniqs. They're making this so difficult for Cloud9 to get a realistic chance on goal.
Soniqs have been sat in these positions at 0-0 for a very, very long time. They can only be happy to see it at 2-0 up. There is Shock. 38 boost. Tries for the reset. Back over to the middle. Gimmick. Can't get the ball cleared, and you can see how long each of these are taking. Very well timed on each of these challenges. Another backboard whip, and again it was Squishy. Follow-up shot. Finds the top corner.
What a finish by Safiu. The confidence. Every man from the Soniqs just coming forward one after another. That's what Cloud9 need to do. They're just showing them how to play confidently with 3 men in offense. Not waiting back and seeing if their opponents are going to miss. They're just getting up and hoping that they will. 3-0, and it's just getting better and better for the Soniqs.
I would love to see like a stat of how long each team has managed to spend in the other side of the field before the ball crosses the halfway line yet again. Because for Soniqs, it's been something like 15 seconds every single time. Here might be the first goal. No, not even that one. Cloud9 can't buy a goal in this series.
And you can tell Soniqs are trying to keep them on 0. They know this has got to be frustrating the veterans of RLCS. They can't even score a goal. It's almost 2 whole games, and they haven't been able to put the ball into the orange net. They've only got 15 seconds, and where's the goal going to come from? It's just so far away.
Dapper with the pop-up. As we do enter these final 10 seconds, this game is beyond them. That ball is beyond them. Gimmick tries to get himself back. He's going to watch it roll up the wall. But Soniqs are proving themselves to be legit. And Cloud9 have got it all to do. Must reverse sweep to hold serve for the playoffs.
It's just not looking good for Cloud9, and this is where we find out if they've still got that champions mentality. Like I said earlier, they've gone the distance in series so many times as a team, but right now, they don't look like the same Cloud9 that we've been enjoying watching for so many years now. they look like a totally different team. They look scared. They don't look confident. And unless they just throw caution to the wind in this game 3, I don't see them having a chance of reverse sweeping the Soniqs. They need to come out with a completely different mentality in this third game.
The alarming thing right now for Cloud9 is that we've seen this before. We've seen these results they've been picking up in other tournaments. I believe it's the Astro tournaments that they've been beating your NRGs and your G2s. But then we see it come over to RLCS, and those results don't seem to transfer over. This is starting to look like a very similar situation where they take a win against a big name and fail to capitalize on it and keep that momentum going into the next week.
Yeah, it's a problem for them. Unlike their main, their main rivals at the top of the standings, you've got NRG, G2 adapting now to the newer teams coming in. It's not been the case for all of Cloud9. They're really struggling to play with all of the new blood that came up last season and now again this season. And I think unless they can make some major changes, they just have to go and throw everything at Soniqs, or they're going to have no chance in this third game and in this series.
So we've had the opportunity throughout this series to really look at what Soniqs do very well, because this is probably the most offense we've ever seen out of Soniqs, and I've been very impressed at how well they're almost timing each wave of offensive pressure that's going towards the opponent's net, because there's no real time for Cloud9 to say, okay, we've got a completely free ball here to try and control, especially when we've got people like Gimmick and Squishy on a team who are so mechanically good that they can almost buy you out of those situations. But no, as soon as that control is got, you've got a Dapper, you've got a Sapphire, you've got a Shock who are immediately challenging.
Yeah, you got to give credit to Soniqs. It's really easy to look at Cloud9's position and feel sorry for them, and because they're such a popular team, look at the game and the series from their perspective. But if we look at it from the Soniqs perspective, this is going absolutely like a dream. I mean, they're climbing up the standings now, secured playoffs. How high can they go? Can they get a top 2 spot and just get the best possible finish here? It looks likely, and at this point, I wouldn't blame anybody for predicting that.
I mean, at this point, if they win this, they would have their 6th win of the season. We've got G2 have still got to play every single top team, meaning that, everyone around Soniqs is also about to start taking losses. As long as they can keep winning, a top 2, more than good enough for them. That buys them a semi-final spot for our regionals. And from there, anything is possible. So for a team that was, sort of expected to be 10th, everything is on the table right now.
We will get into the next game very shortly. Just had a quick restart there, but we're looking good to go. Soniqs still leading by 2. Cloud9, they need the reverse sweep, Shogun. I wouldn't put my money on it personally, but do you have any faith in them being able to pull this one out of the bag?
I mean, I need to see a goal before I see a win. And right now, Cloud9 are providing us neither of them. It's frustrating as well, because you sort of see what they're doing. There was a very unnecessary goal that was conceded in that second game where we saw Torment almost just doing circles whilst he was almost being scared of the potential challenge coming in. Those sort of plays can't happen at this level. And right now, Cloud9, you take away the name value, it's not quite there right now. If Cloud9 are to go on to win this game, we've got to see some boost control to start with. Get the Squishies, get the Gimmicks into the air, and let them really start pulling Soniqs into a position where they have the advantages, because this floor play completely suits Soniqs.
Yeah, credit to Soniqs again. They're making this so difficult for Cloud9. They just look so composed, and they're taking every opportunity that's given to them. Clinical as you like. They look like the experienced team in this matchup, when in fact they're not. And Cloud9 are the ones who are making mistakes, so you wouldn't expect them to be making, with that backboard whiff from Squishy coming to mind, of course. But they just have to come out and pop off here. They don't have a hype man in the lineup in comms, but they do have some pretty exciting playmaking ability, and that is, I think, their main win condition here. They just need to go and make something happen, get excited, get positive, and maybe, just maybe, it's still possible for Cloud9.
Absolutely. So the next game will be coming up very shortly. Hopefully Fireburner has been in the ear of Cloud9, as they have got all of the work to do to try and turn this series around. Now, Can they do it? Absolutely, but they've got to try and start playing to their own strengths, because right now they are not even close to doing that. On the other side, Soniqs, normally in these situations we sort of say, okay, there's been a little break, maybe that makes a difference, but Soniqs had a longer break last week, and they came out even better after that break. So I'm not sure here. Soniqs are probably going to still be just as good, if not better, in this following game.
Yeah, I'm not doubting the Soniqs mentality at this point. These guys are just cool as a cucumber, and when you see their behind-the-scenes videos, you can understand why. There's just such great chemistry between these guys, not just on the field, but off it as well. That's a good chance early for Cloud9, and still pressure on the Soniqs net, but no goal just yet for Cloud9. And will that frustrate them if they don't get an early goal here? Are they just going to start taking unnecessary risks and lose this one? That's a great chance. Gimmick puts in the opening goal, and this is a forced error for sure. Great backboard hit by Squishy.
Yeah, Safi thought he could get there to try and get the ball across field. Instead, gets a mistouch. Gimmick immediately on top of that puts in the first goal for Cloud9. And they will thankfully not be joining the rather infamous list of teams that have been perfect swept. Now it's time to try and work from here and pick up that reverse sweep.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. Nobody doubts the potential of this team. We've seen what they can do. You know, one of the most successful teams in Rocket League history. Very few teams can make a mistake to that claim. Oh, that's almost 2-0. Gimmick sneaking into the far post there. Love that position, making it very difficult for the defense to see him coming. Cloud9 still only lead by 1. A much better game 3 already, though. They're upping the pace here, Shogun.
And I think there's a very obvious change to immediately notice, which is Torment and Gimmick. I mean, Squishy and Gimmick have just gone full boost, full flop attack mode. They are going for every ball as quickly as they possibly can. And as long as Torment can keep up with this, they'll probably be fine again trying to come together to make something going. Now, these situations will all entirely rest on how much time can Torment buy to get Gimmick and Squishy back into position.
This is exactly what you want to see from Cloud9, though. You want to see them go out with a fight if they are going to go out here. But so far, so good. 1-0 in the third game. And we've seen some brilliant passing. That's what was missing most from their gameplay. Not so much anymore. They're starting to find each other at both ends of the field. It's a huge chance for Gimmick. Bump on the goal line. Well saved, though, by Sathu. Ball still in danger. Shot gets it away.
Cloud9 have just got the aggressive attack on point at the moment. Not settling for 1-0. You can see Gimmick already floating around the other side of the field. Here's Dapper across to Sathu. Almost made contact. And there's the danger, those counter-attacking plays that Soniqs have managed to perfect throughout this season. Here's now Shock, and it's just about missed. Enough bodies in the way to put him off.
Well, you know, Cloud9 played so solid all game, and then a flurry of misplays with everybody missing the ball. Now they're the ones under pressure, and this is where Soniqs have been dangerous in the series. They don't really overextend in this position. They just wait for Cloud9 to give them the ball over and over again. Will Cloud9 get a way out? Yes, they will. It's passing and defense that gets it out. And now, chance for them to get a breather before the next attack.
Yeah, double demo from Soniqs. As they were trying to find some sort of passing option from the corner. Infield, nobody around, apart from Shock, who gets a free shot. The follow-up is saved by Squishy. But Cloud9, they're starting to whiff their lines every single time on the defensive side. They've got to clean that up.
Yeah, they're definitely on the ropes right now. Soniqs starting to find success in the last third. They know that they're going to need to step up the aggression as well as time goes on. The clock's winning the game for Cloud9 at this point, as blue goal doesn't look anywhere near coming again to help them. But still, Cloud9 holding on, and this has definitely been their best game despite all these misplays in defense that are starting to appear late on.
Cool, man. Playing ball in the corner can be so awkward to play from, especially with your back turned to it. Here's Gimmick. Gets over the top. It's only as far as Sathu. Can't put too much power on the shot. And a miss. It does mean that Cloud9 can start to approach the orange side of the field. Lovely flick up from Squishy. Can't go any further as Gimmick's shot is off target. Good opportunity for 2-0. Torment choosing to be aggressive in the third man role. That does get the time. Once again, Gimmick and Squishy back into the defensive side of the field. That is how Cloud9 are going to want to try and play this.
Yeah, they're relying on their mechanics to get them out of these aggressive positions. Cloud9 know that, yes, they're being, very far up the field with all 3 members, but they can recover quickly. They're allowed to do that. They can afford to do that. And, that's what happened with Soniqs at the end of the last game. They were also being aggressive with their 3rd man. So Cloud9, they can keep this up, and they might not have too many scares in the final 30 seconds.
Great challenge from Dapper. Torment already up. Let's get a second touch, but instead Squishy calls him off it. Squishy back to the wall. That's not a great touch, though. Allows Sapu to take control of the ball. Off the backboard. Who will be there first? It's going to be Gimmick. 10 seconds on the clock now. Expect Squishy to take this as slowly as he possibly can. Here's Gimmick. Tries to fake off the shot. Torment to seal it, and he will do exactly that. Cloud9 have got themselves a win on the board.
Dapper trying to keep the ball up in the air here. Just sets up Torment perfectly, but well played, Cloud9. Gimmick at the end of the game, saving the team. And he's been the one who's always getting criticism about his defensive capabilities, but he saved the team there. That was a really tough read off the back wall as the ball came over his head in the final 20 seconds of the game. And he didn't just hit the ball away from the goal, he got it away from every member of the Soniqs as well. That's the touch that secured the game for them. So well played to Gimmick and Cloud9 for locking up this Game 3 win.
Probably the most defensively sound performance, and we've already seen a game taken away from one mistake for Soniqs. Now they know how it feels to be on the opposite side of that. Cloud9, their best performance so far. And for me, Johnny, I'm looking at that one. Main difference, Cloud9 had some boost. And that made so much more available to them as the game went on.
Yeah, they really upped the pace the whole game. They were controlling the boost in their own back corner, but they weren't being so afraid with it. They weren't trying to hold on to it and just stay behind the ball. They came out much faster, and I think they caught the Soniqs off guard at the start of the game. That's what got them the 1-0 lead. And, there was a little bit of a scare in the middle of the match, maybe, with, a couple of defensive whiffs, but they hung on, and credit to them. They've got the Game 3 win. They're still alive. They need 2 more if they're going to keep their playoff dreams alive.
So we get ourselves into game number 4. Cloud9, we will reiterate, if they win this, they still maintain their own destiny when it comes to getting into a playoff spot. Soniqs have already got there. They're just trying to play spoiler at this moment in time and maybe push for a top 2 position. We are now in game 4. Shock to Dapper. And as far as Torment, however, who does cut away the danger.
Let's see now. Cloud9 can keep up the pace. Are they going to play the same way as they did in game number 3? Haven't had the chance to so far, but this is looking a bit risky for them. They've got nobody in goal. That's a whiff from Torment, who was supposed to be there, and it's just scored easily. But, if they're going to leave their back wall wide open, if they're going to leave their net wide open like this, they're going to be punished. They just looked so timid and they looked so confused with where they're supposed to be. Meanwhile, Soniqs, just another very simple goal for them. 1-0 game 4.
So the good, that was a nice shot. The bad, everything else. It's not what Cloud9 needed. Now just lose the ball over to Dapper. Will Cloud9 go back into their bad habits here? Dapper takes his time. Another booming clear from Torment. Tries to find a bit of space where Shock's not covering. It does look like Shock's low on boost here. Squishy can now start moving forward. No, he's got plenty. Soniqs.
Shock there just trying to slow the ball down. He wanted to keep it in the back corner because there's nobody really committed yet. And as soon as he sees somebody coming forward, that's when he decides to make his move. And, both teams have done that well this game. They're not just hitting the ball away when they've got full control of it. But when you're the team with the lead, you can really afford to start using that strategy, make the other team come to you, because they're the ones who have to come and look for the goal.
Torment turns around, doesn't win the challenge though with Shock. Soniqs just trying to put the last game out of their own mind. Moving to this one and put the pressure back onto Cloud9, who have not managed to score from this position so far. Squishy up. Quite think you got the reset. Won't matter anyway. Not in a position to try and use it. This is what Soniqs do so well. They find little gaps in where your rotation is, and they just keep playing the ball around you. First touch from Squishy, straight down the middle. Only 8 boosts left, but the opponents don't know that. and they had to try and deal with him. Any mistake there from Soniqs leaves Cloud9 open for a shot.
Squishy firing on net over and over again, and it is going to result in a goal. You know, he had passing options in a few of these plays, but maybe that's what the Soniqs were expecting. Squishy just kept peppering the backboard, and eventually miss comes through from Soniqs, and he has equalized. Can Cloud9 do it again? Can they keep this reverse sweep going?
Up to 1-1. Just over half the game left to play now. Off the backboard, and Torment misses again. There's a couple of issues with this backboard right now. For Cloud9, they've got to try and clean that up. Squishy has to keep the play going. Can't quite do so. Now Safu over the top. Dapper tries to reach, but he couldn't quite get there.
Been a bit of a slow game 4 so far. We didn't see the same pace from Cloud9 early. That's a good shot by Gimmick. That tested Shock. Luckily, he didn't have to do anything as it was going wide of the target. But this is still okay for Cloud9 compared to their game 1 and 2 performances. They're significantly improved. They're just looking for that spark. They're looking for that flare in the final third. Luckily, they were dealt a bit of a helping hand in the last one, but I've got a feeling that they're not going to get too many whiffs to play with from the Soniqs. They're going to have to start making those mistakes happen and forcing those mistakes.
Soniqs probably with the lowest unforced error ratio. Pretty much all of North America. That could be dangerous. Shot forced to just tip it over. 100 seconds now on the clock. Squishy beats one player, but Safu always there, ready and waiting. Feels like you need to get the double commit. Oh, you need this chance, and Dapper somehow gets there on time. Tips it over the top. We stay at 1 each.
That was just a brilliant save by Dapper. He's keeping the pressure on Cloud9 here. Remember, they're the ones who are on the brink, and they just realized how well they're going to have to shoot the ball to get it past the defended goal. But meanwhile, it's all Cloud9 in the midfield. They've got all the pressure here, and Soniqs are struggling for boost. We've seen pretty composed play from them all series, but are they going to make another defensive mistake?
Over the top, Gimmick pre-jumping the stop. Up to Safu. Again, Squishy already there. Both these teams happy to try and almost duel in the air. That was going to try and force the challenge up from Gimmick, and he does so well. In that corner, it's difficult to make something, but they've managed to do it. Shot is skied. As we do have a couple of players having a little wee rest here. We'll get ourselves continuing this game in just a moment. With all the pressure on Johnny, that is going to be a very fun time for the players when they get into that. But from what we've seen so far, a timid affair for the first half, but Cloud9, they're easing into this game very quickly.
Yeah, we saw one defensive misplay from both teams, resulting in the goals for both teams. So whoever can really prevent those mistakes from happening defensively, likely to win this one. These 48 seconds are pretty important.
Okay, so it works for you. Fantastic. Good to know.
There you go, first try.
So we are going to get ourselves into this one. Yeah, first time. It took me 2. I couldn't get either of them to work. There's a wizard hat behind me that I might just start getting some use out of. So yes, next goal is overly important for both teams. It's Cloud9 trying to push their way back to start ourselves. Shot searching for Squishy. He can be very elusive though. Cloud9, they were very aggressive in game number 3. Can they try and return to that as Gimmick? He's gone to try and be as fancy as he possibly can. Almost got it to work.
Interesting. Gimmick actually just not rotating out there, instead parking in front of the goalkeeper. Bit awkward for the Soniqs, but they've done well. It looks like Cloud9 have had the majority of the chances in the remainder of regulation time, and they're going to get the last chance in regulation time by the looks of things as well. Can they make anything of it? It's going to go into the ground actually, and this is overtime with Cloud9's playoff life on the line.
Yeah, if they lose this, they're not necessarily out of playoffs, but they do lose their ability to control it. Torment over to the corner. It's going to be Shock. Got a bit of time. Pushes that straight out. Here's now Dapper. Looks for the backboard. A backboard that has been doing so much damage. That's almost in, but Squishy there just on time.
Yeah, great play by Squishy, and he's actually still going. That's the Gimmick, and that's the win. Just like that, Squishy takes the ball one end of the field to the other, and he finds Gimmick in the middle. It's one of the oldest partnerships, and they're looking like previous season versions of themselves with that kind of play. 25 seconds is all it took for Cloud9 to get the win.
And yes, as you said, it was Squishy. Squishy just, you know, came in on fire as soon as we got those 48 seconds going, which I'm still very upset about that you were the one that managed to get that one before I did. You know, I'll remember this. But, you know, we've got a game 5 coming up here. Soniqs have just taken the loss. I would ask you to try and analyze what we just saw, but quite frankly, there wasn't much there to analyze. So I really want to look at this one overall as sort of a, how do Soniqs try and take this next game? Because they are now on a 2-game spree. If we sort of take away the downtime in between, they haven't controlled the field quite as much as they did previously. And that's going to start getting a little bit scary now, because games 1 and 2 was just wave after wave after wave, almost like a tower defense game with how much pressure they were putting on Cloud9. But Cloud9 have not necessarily dealt with it better. There's still been defensive mistakes, but they're escaping easier. They've got the boost on Squishy and Gimmick, and they've just managed to almost float their way out.
Yeah, they did well. I mean, this is exactly the Cloud9 that came out in Game 3, took the lead, and then ended up taking the game. They need to play at this pace. I think this is a better look for them in this matchup. They figured out that maybe they're harder to read when they step up the pace, and Soniqs aren't able to get interceptions on those passes that they're making. But honestly, I just like seeing it because I think it builds their confidence. Cloud9 look like a better team when they're playing fast, and I think playing fast is what's making them, actually hit these shots. They don't want to play the slow-mo game. They want to get up there. They've always been known for their mechanical ability, and now they're reminding us again that they can still win games. They can still win series based on the back of that.
Absolutely, and you know, you do reiterate to the fact of, at their best, Cloud9 were one of the most mechanical teams in the world. They've almost given up on that in a way, because to me, their entire playstyle when they were back winning world championships was outplay you, get the ball loose, next player immediately onto the ball. And that was how they were able to beat so many players to it. That was how they beat Dignitas twice, back when Dignitas was an unstoppable force in Rocket League. Can they get back to that? Is that a strategy that you'd even want them to go back to? Or do they need to start adapting to what we've seen starting to change around in Rocket League?
Well, this is some of the best that we've seen from Cloud9 against the new competition. They've been able to not just get wins in the matchup, but wins when they're already 2 games down. And with their season that they've had so far being so unsuccessful, I think a lot of even their hardcore fans would have doubted their ability to do this, to bring it into a Game 5. But they have done so credit to them. And we are just waiting to get that one started so we can find out if they'll finish the reverse sweep. I know there's a lot of eager fans waiting to see if it's going to happen. But Soniqs, likewise, you know, they've looked pretty composed in all this. They haven't looked out of it at all, especially that Game 4 could have gone either way. So it's really interesting to watch now from their perspective. Are they going to make a playstyle change? Because we've seen quite a consistent Soniqs lineup so far. But who knows, maybe they're going to switch something up and, catch Cloud9 off guard, just like Cloud9 caught them off guard in Game 3.
Absolutely, and we are going to be looking in just a second at today's schedule. So, Johnny, which matches from here really jump out at you as major must-watch matches today?
I would have to go with Cloud9 Soniqs Game 5. It's about to happen, but no. Honestly, there's so many to choose from, but I'm looking forward to the last series of the day, of course, NRG G2. That's a legendary matchup, and every time that it happens, it's a great series. There's so much going on, so many personalities on that field that you just want to see do well, want to see go up against each other. So yeah, that's the one for me, NRG versus G2. But with every series being so impactful, you can't really go wrong. Just, sitting down and enjoying the show as it progresses throughout the day.
Unfortunately for you, Johnny, unfortunately for everyone else around here, I sort of tend to thrive a little bit more on the side of chaos. So I'm actually going to go one game before you, E-United against Pittsburgh Knights, where it is more of a relegation battle than anything else. They're trying so hard to try and avoid those bottom 3 spots and push into the top 6. So that's the one I'm looking forward to the most. We've sort of forced everyone here to say, you know what, we're going to have to stick around for the last 2. So, you're going to have to do exactly that for us.
Well, Shogun, you're going to want to watch what's about to happen on Champions Field.
You're doing it. You're doing it.
I am not lying to you. We are having a fireburner sub in. We're having fireburner sub in for Cloud9. If I'm not mistaken, if I read correctly at the end of the last game, Torment did in fact disconnect right as Cloud9 scored the winning goal in Game 4. So he actually DC'd and the ball crossed the line and they won. And he can't get back in. He can't get a solid connection today. So fireburner is going to step in and show these boys how it's done. I mean, I'm excited about this. This is one of the most legendary substitutions in the history of Rocket League. They're just getting warmed up. They're just, testing the server that we're going to be playing on. But that match is coming to you very, very soon. We've got a big fireburner stepping in with Gimmick and Squishy for Cloud9 in Game 5. This is unbelievable, Shogun.
So if let's say this does go through and that we do have fireburner end up coming into this one. Remember, we were going to preface this one with it is a test. I'm not taking any more risks here. I'm not saying any more. It's definitely happening because I will ruin it for everybody. But for people that are very new to Rocket League eSports, almost a brief history of fireburner and what he has been to the scene.
Man, fireburner, where do you start? I mean, he's one of the OGs, one of the oldest pros in the scene, not just for Rocket League, but the predecessor as well. And to see him come back, this is going to be so interesting. Like, has he been able to keep up with the level? I mean, if Cloud9 and G2 last season were struggling against the new blood, they're struggling against the new teams in RLCS. Like, is fireburner going to be able to cope if the meta's moved one step from G2 Cloud9 when they were dominant? Maybe it's moved two since fireburner last played here. But man, that's hype. This is definitely something you want to watch. Look out for the 50-50s. That's what he's known for.
I don't almost want to say that this is the lucky DC for Cloud9, but in terms of comparable play styles for switching one player up for another, fireburner for Torment is probably as close to a one-to-one as they're going to get.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think fireburner is a good, filler player. I've seen him play, well in lots of different rosters. He's very solid. He just makes his teammates look good, or makes his teammates look better, I'll say. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can bring out of Squishy and Gimmick. Are they going to be confident playing around him? I can't tell you for a fact they're looking forward to playing around him based on what I've read in the chat right now. But yeah, Squishy in particular, he can't wait for this one to get started, and I'm with him. This is going to be exciting.
So everyone was looking around today for the European Invitational saying, Jesse, what a great substitute, the substitute of the year. And then fireburner comes in and he can't even let him have the week. Can he?
Yeah, this is crazy. I mean, you talk about impactful substitutions in RLCS history. There have been a few. Jazer stepping in Season 2 for Flipside, and OverZero Season 1, Turbo Pulse Season 3.
Whoa.
But it's been a while since we had one like this.
Let's not forget Sad Jr. subbing in his keyboard back in, I believe, Season 4.
Yeah. That's true, but this is the real deal, Shogun. Fireburner stepping in for Cloud9. Is he going to help them get the Game 5 that they need, to keep their season under their own control? I've got absolutely no idea what to expect with this one, and I'm supposed to be the one to tell you guys what's going to happen. Well, let's just watch and enjoy the show.
Fireburner back in for the first time as he takes a shot, but the first time we've seen him now since DreamHack Valencia. All those months ago, his Safu trying to follow that one down. Fireburner immediately taking that one away.
Yeah, Fireburner's already making an impact. He had a good chance at the orange end of the field, and now big clear on the on the center ball. So definitely a confident start for him, and that's huge. He's going to get demoed from behind. So is the goalkeeper Cloud9. Good recovery by Gimmick to make sure that the net stays safe. This is just so tense. Another reason for Cloud9 to just really go for this win, to try and get the win not just for themselves, but for Fireburner as well in his comeback to the RLCS.
So Fireburner plays the ball to the corner. He's going to try and keep some pressure on. Squishy off the backboard. Dapper's going to try and get up first. He can't quite get there, but he gets enough on it to prevent Gimmick blasting that ball at his net. Fireburner backing down, choosing to put himself back onto the wall. And it is all Cloud9. Fireburner in! It's off the post! What a story that would have been!
fireburner is slotting into this Cloud9 lineup like he's been playing in it all year. Just such an easy player to play with. He's connected with Squishy and Gimmick at both ends of the field. And, you know, so far, they look like the better team in the business end of the series.
Fireburner up. Off the backboard, it's going to drop. Gets a second touch. That does make it a little bit less threatening. Off the backboard again. Gimmick, uncontested, and Safu blocks it. So much offense coming out from Cloud9. They are unrelenting in game number 5. But here's Soniqs finally getting out of their side of the field. Fireburner takes the boost. Gimmick's can probably have slightly less options here as he is on 0.
Look at that speed though by Fireburner. He just takes the man out of the game, no problem. Mechanics are actually looking better than ever, to be honest. I was wondering if he'd kept up his level of play. It looks like he's actually improved it somewhat. I mean, the game's definitely gotten quicker in the past half year. Fireburner not looking any worse for it.
The main question will be less can Fireburner perform at this level, and more what does it do to the rotation and synergy of Cloud9? Will they get caught out by a long ball? Squishy already up. Dapper gets another touch to it. It's been all up to Dapper so far to make sure Squishy stays somewhat quiet on his setups. As Dapper does leave, called off by Shock. That's over the top of Squishy. Fireburner now the one onto the ball. He's on against Shock and he had to win that. Because it was going to be Dapper up there first. He was the one that was most ready for that ball.
This is a real spanner in the works for Soniqs to deal with. I mean, they've looked really solid and they've looked so consistent all series long, but to have to go up against Fireburner here, that's going to get you, you know, thinking about what the other team are doing a lot more than they perhaps want to. They've been focusing on their own game all day long, and now they've really got to start taking a hard, long look at what Fireburner's doing, because I don't think they've played against him at all recently, or definitely not a lot. It's a huge chance for Squishy, and now Fireburner opens the scoring. Is this the script that you've all been waiting for, or is this the script?
Your eyes do not deceive you. Cloud9 on the verge of a reverse sweep, scored by their substitute and coach, Fireburner, to put them 1-0 up, but Dapper looks to take it away, and Shock does try to play spoiler.
Not a long time to celebrate for Cloud9. It was Fireburner last man back here, and he could not make contact on the back wall. Had to get up fast for that one, but well played. Shock responds to what was going to be an extremely difficult end to the game for them. I mean, this is the team that have been doing so well all season long. To lose to Cloud9, who have struggled with that substitute, that's embarrassing for them. They can't allow this to happen, but there's still a chance that could happen. They're all tied up with a minute to go. Dapper sends it long. Gimmick ready and waiting, high in the air.
Just gives a couple of spins for a little bit of flash. Dapper off the backboard. That's another great clear from Fireburner though. Gets it all the way to the midfield. Gimmick already there. Didn't make contact with the ball, but he has got Gimmick as an option. Instead pushes the ball up. Fireburner tries to take it by himself. It's a good challenge though from Dapper, who has been on point of almost every single one of these plays. But Cloud9, they are just straight back onto offense. They have controlled the lion's share of this ball.
Yeah, Cloud9 are just playing like they've been practicing together all year. They're looking so confident, and you can tell that they really want the win here, not just for themselves, but for Fireburner. Good covered in there by Fire. As Gimmick was bumped away from the play. There's only 15 seconds left in the game, and it's Soniqs with the pressure. Dapper waiting on the far side. He's going to stick it back into the middle. Fireburner looks for the clear, and that's going to go down towards Squishy and himself. They've got the ball in the breakaway.
And it's going to drop straight out. Gimmick off the side. Good boost still there from Fireburner. Tries to find the top corner. Might have been better off looking for Gimmick, and that will hit the floor. Overtime. Will Cloud9 reverse sweep, or can Soniqs get away with this one? Off the backboard.
Good chance. Good start to the game for Soniqs. They are going to get denied. Gimmick sends it long. He had time there, but this is nervous moments, and it's actually an opportunity for Fire. He was just about through there for end-to-end at the start of game number 5, and a Squishy keeps Cloud9 in the series. What a save.
And if there was anyone you wanted on that ball, it was Dapper. Two legends of the 1v1 scene had a quick duel. Doria, Gimmick does end up missing the ball. Now Shock, quickly challenged from Fireburner. Dapper will not be able to get here. Instead, Squishy back over to the middle. Neither team able to control this ball just yet. It's going to be Shock just taking his time. He's got plenty of boost to try and work with. fireburner drops the ball up. Squishy's all the way back. It's going to be difficult to make something, but Shock looks to do exactly that. Both these teams desperate to find this goal. Will it come from Gimmick? Almost got there. He had the reset.
It's good interception in the midfield from Shock. He sets up Safety, but his shot's wide. Now time for Cloud9 to breathe, to figure out how to create a chance of their own, because this has been very end-to-end, and I think that probably is the type of match that favors the more experienced team playing together. We're in full rotation now, and that's a great save by Squishy, but now they're in the 2v1. Squishy looking for Gimmick. He doesn't make contact, and he comes back down and misses again. And that would have been awkward for Soniqs. They hang on as well.
Minute and a half now played. Played already over the top. Gimmick's going to try and follow. It's only going to be Dapper, though, blasting the ball over the top of that. Squishy. It's just so many times we've got 2v1s coming from Soniqs. Gimmick's past another player, but Dapper immediately there. Soniqs going to be hard to beat twice as Dapper goes for the shot, and fireburner picks up his third save of the game. Who is going to break down first? Fireburner already up. Can't get it past Dapper, who has continuously pre-jumped every single save.
It's unreal, the defense from this guy. To read these infield passes and get up in the face of them. Outstanding work, but they need a goal. They need to get the ball into the other half. Squishy patience as the ball bounces over his head. That's composure. But it's been a while since Cloud9 had a real chance on net. Now they get one. Gimmick puts it wide.
I'd say the main portion of the first 5 minutes belonged to Cloud9. This overtime has been all Soniqs. Gimmicks fakes one, and if that demo didn't blast the ball upwards, fireburner would have been first there. Squishy, he's got a second touch, chooses to use it for a block. Fireburner over to the corner. Can he try and follow? No, it's a bad landing for him. But now we see Cloud9 moving themselves into offensive positions. It's going to drop out all the way back to the midfield. Fireburner just decides to buy some time. You can now see Squishy and Gimmick playing themselves back into the midfield.
It's a good hit forward by Squishy. And a good demo as well. That's 2 out of the game for Soniqs. Squishy with an uncontested hit. To Gimmick. What save by Dapper. It's fireburner. He's denied. Still on the goal line. Fire! Oh! He puts it in! You could not write a better script, Shogun. He has done it, and Cloud9, they are still in the RLCS season.
Well, the Sart BC player with an ode to another, a Doomsy dish to finish us off in this series. Cloud9